to My Generation, brought to you by South Shore Senior News. This is the show that focuses on local health and wellness, financial planning, elder law, senior fitness, and entertainment. However old or young you may be, My Generation would like to help you age well and enjoy yourself doing it. Here are your hosts, Patti, Abbate, and Tom Foye.
Good evening and welcome to My Generation, brought to you by the South Shore Senior News. Tonight's show is sponsored by Bertucci's of Hingham. I'm Tom Foye.
And I'm Patti Abbate. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in tonight. It's good to have you with us here on 95.9 WATD. In just a few minutes, we'll be speaking with a very talented and accomplished Cliff Aguirre. You may remember that Cliff was a guest a couple of months ago, and we had such a great response, we just had to have him back again. Cliff is an author, a certified hypnotist, and behavioral management specialist. Tonight we are going to cover a lot of subjects with Cliff, and our phone lines will be open, so please give us a call at 781-837-4900 during the show. And along with talking with Cliff, you'll also have a chance to win a $25 gift certificate to Bertucci's if you are one of the first three callers. And now it is my pleasure to introduce tonight's guest, author, certified hypnotist, and behavioral management specialist, Cliff Aguirre. Welcome, Cliff.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Okay, now a word from our sponsor. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Kept on reading by mistake. Sorry about that, Cliff.
After each of the shows that you're on, Cliff, we always get such positive feedback because you really strike a nerve in folks. So many folks out there are curious about what hypnosis is, especially regression therapy hypnosis. And you, of course, have written a book on that. And you do have an upcoming event that we're going to tell people about where they can see you. But I think right now, just refresh our memories for those who haven't heard you in a while, or maybe for new audience listeners tonight, what especially your book on past life regressions is about.
Well, what happened, I'll start the whole story over again for the people that didn't hear it the first time, is that I had a client that came to me that was very depressed, and I wanted to put her under hypnosis to find out where her depression started. And I expected her to go back to being a 13-year-old girl or something, with teenage problems. She ends up talking about being in a house in the 1860s, and her husband's fighting in the Civil War for the South, and she puts the baby down in the crib in the house that they had, and she went out and worked on the garden. And when she was done working on the garden, she went back, and the house was on fire, the baby dies, and the woman commits suicide. And when I brought her out of hypnosis, she said, "Was that real?" And I said, "I don't know." And she says, "Well, I could feel everything, I could hear everything, I could smell everything." And then about a month later, I saw her again. Her depression had disappeared. And she said it was all because of this one session. And a year later, she got married, had her own child, and just everything changed. And then I had two more clients that ended up doing that. And it wasn't my intention. So then it was suggested to me that I should write a book. And then I found 27 volunteers who offered to go into regression for my book, and that's what's in my book.
So every one of those 27 individuals went back to a previous life.
Yes. And
Now,
nobody was famous.
no one was famous. And we all think we might have been, King Henry VIII or Cleopatra or something like that. We all want to be those
Didn't
individuals.
find one of them.
No.
No.
But it is interesting that when you bring people back, they're immersed in that particular experience. They come back remembering everything through their senses.
Right.
And so often it relates to a problem they're having in present day
Sometimes.
that helps them.
Sometimes.
And it did in that first individual with you.
With many people it has, actually. There's been some people that they couldn't relate it to their present life. But at the same time, with a lot of people, it did. And it actually changed the way that they saw the way that they were dealing with their life now.
Well, we'll get right back to that, but I just want to let folks know that you will be at the Hingham Public Library on June 30th from 2 to 4:30 p.m. There'll be enough chairs so you can sit there and listen to Cliff. It'll be in the Whiten Room? The Whiten Room. And the Hingham Library is at 66 Levitt Street in Hingham. And you'll be discussing this very topic, correct?
Yes, and I'm actually going to be showing a video of actual past life regressions that took place,
Oh, wow.
and also some audio of some of the regressions. And actually, I brought some audio for you guys to listen to tonight.
Well, I know the first clip that we have tonight is about 2 minutes in length. And can you set that up for us a little bit, Cliff?
This is a woman who wanted her regression, and she started talking about being in San Francisco in the 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
And she's from Massachusetts, so she didn't know anything about the 1906 earthquake. So I knew that if she actually was there, she would be able to see it or feel it or experience it. And so as it went on, she ended up talking about seeing fire and smoke and all the chaos going on in the San Francisco earthquake.
So this is an actual past life regression session that you had with this woman, and
Right.
you've brought us about 2 minutes of that, what I can imagine was a lot longer session.
Oh, well, I cut
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah. Larry, are you able to play that for us now? That'd be great. Let's take a listen.
Busy. Climbing stairs, busy. Noise all around. San Francisco. Mail. The turn of the century, early 1900s.
How old are you?
15.
Do you have family?
My mother and my 2 brothers and sister. Matea.
Where's your dad?
Matea. It's not there. It's dead. Too much noise. Have to protect. Protect the family. Have to protect. Too much noise. People. They steal. Shoes. I make shoes. I'm hearing trains in the distance. A lot of smells. A lot of city. City smells. Someone's playing violin. Running, people running. I'm hearing the train again. Train whistle. Down by the water. We're all down by the water. Crying. Smoke. People crying. Smoke.
Is your family with you?
No. They're safe. They're safe. People are just helping. Everybody helps.
Wow.
And I wanted to tell you that when she mentioned the thing about the violin, I ended up doing some research afterwards and found out the mayor of San Francisco at that time was a violinist with a San Francisco Philharmonic.
No kidding. Ooh, I just got chills.
So that
Interesting.
was an actual recording.
Now, how did you pin that to that time in history? Did she actually give you a date at some point?
Yeah, she said in the beginning here, early 1900s.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And actually, one part that I cut out was I said, okay, why are you down at the ocean?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, I don't really know. And I said, okay, turn around and look at the city. And that's when she said, smoke everywhere. But I guess in my editing, I left that out.
And she was 15 at the time.
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy. Did she also remember any other past experiences?
Yeah, she was actually another life where she was a man and she was married, had children and everything. And she actually got in an argument with her past life wife. And she was sitting in my chair arguing with her under hypnosis. And I just listened and went, well, this is interesting.
And that's all on tape as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I knew you couldn't play everything
No,
tonight. We could go on for
can't, yeah.
hours.
We could, yeah. You have how many hours of taped sessions?
27 volunteers for the first book, but I
Mm-hmm.
have enough for a second book already.
Wow. And the book that's carries all of these is called
Journey Back.
Journey Back.
The amazing stories of individuals through past life regression.
And those books are available on your website.
Also on Amazon.
Okay. So there's plenty of ways to get them.
So in her past life, she was married into a woman, but so she must have been a guy.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clear that up.
Right.
And they can also go to journeybackbook.com.
Journeybackbook.com and also cliffordgary.com.
Right. And mindbalancehypnosis.com.
You have several
Shall we go on?
websites. Lots of ways to find you, Cliff, and even on South Shore Senior News' website too, and our Facebook page.
Right.
So, yeah, if you're interested in this subject, it's fascinating, and Cliff has many books on this subject. So, take a look.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought you were ready to go to a break, Tom.
No, I haven't been given the signal here from our producer, Larry Nelson.
Oh, look at
Oh, look, he went to break now. Coming up, we'll hear more from our guest, author, certified hypnotist, and behavioral management specialist, Cliff Aguirre. We are Tom and Patti, and you're listening to My Generation on 95.9 WATD. You're listening to My Generation, brought to you by the South Shore Senior News here on 95.9 WATD. We are your hosts, Patti Abbate and Tom Foye, and we are back with our guest, author, certified hypnotist, and behavioral management specialist, Cliff Aguirre. Welcome
Yes.
back, Cliff.
And we
Thanks.
were talking about past life regression therapy, and basically it's hypnosis that suggests that we carry evidence, emotional, psychic, and occasionally physical, of our past lives into our current one. And Cliff has done this at least 27 times that
We're
we
now
know of.
close to 40.
Close to 40 now.
Close to
Wow.
40 now.
And you are finding some fascinating sessions.
I never know what I'm going to find each time.
So fascinating that you've taken 27 of these sessions and put them into your book, Journey Back, and you're planning more,
A second volume
a second volume.
and an audiobook.
Oh, wow. And if you're just joining us, we just heard a 2-minute clip of one of those sessions, and we'll have another one, a couple coming up soon. But for folks out there who have never done it, that might be afraid to do it, can you just tell us a little bit about what to expect in one of these hypnotherapy sessions? Will you help people go back?
Well, let me actually talk about what hypnosis is. Hypnosis is like a deep meditation. So you're always in control. I'm not in control. I can't make you go down to the bank and withdraw money or any of that stuff. But what I do is I take you through. I know you'd like that, but I can't.
Shucks.
I take you through a very deep relaxation technique where we relax your body and everything. And then I count down from like 20 to 1. And every time that I count down, you go farther and farther in relaxation, and we open up your subconscious mind. And we start talking about all the stuff that you came into the session to work on. And your subconscious mind is very open to it and listens to it and takes it all in and carries it with you after you leave. So, but I want to emphasize again that you're very much in control. I'm not in control at all. And you could actually come out of hypnosis if I stop talking for 5 minutes, walked out of the room or whatever. It's very safe. You can never get stuck in hypnosis.
So many people have that, that party trick where you do crazy things,
Oh, yeah,
and
no. That's
but
what we don't. I don't do that.
no, but people come to you because they have a mission. They want to find something.
Definitely. Most of my clients actually are trauma victims and anxiety, depression. I do some of the stop smoking and healthy eating.
Mhm.
But I found out that most of my clients were trauma victims, and it's really helped them out. and
So they go
changed them.
back and confront it, or
Well, I have a technique where I take them back under hypnosis where they can actually sit across the table from the person who maybe caused the trauma or abuse, and they can yell at that person and say everything they've ever wanted to say. their whole life. And they'll sit in my chair and they'll yell and everything. Once they're done, we move them on. And then they come out of hypnosis. And they say that a lot of weight is lifted off of their
Very
shoulders.
cathartic and healing.
Because there's all this stuff that we carry around inside of us. And you're not really able to release it as much as you would like to. But under hypnosis, you're very free to release it.
Some of us don't even know that we have this trauma, perhaps.
Sometimes.
I'm a pretty down-to-earth, relaxed guy. I don't have any of those problems.
Next show, we'll put him under.
I don't know.
To the people who can't see, because this is a radio show, why is everybody, including the producer, looking at me?
Well,
Everybody's
Cliff,
staring.
I think Tom needs to go under.
That would be a live,
That-
good
would that
live
be
event,
fun?
yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice to be amongst friends and family.
I think that would be a moneymaker. We could sell tickets to that one. You just have to sign a release, Tom.
Yeah, my luck, it'd be the first time he talked somebody into going down and taking the money out of the bank, and that would be my money, and he'd take it.
But hypnosis is there for many things, not just to go back and see what your past lives were
Yeah,
like.
there's two different things.
Yeah,
I don't always
yeah.
do past life regressions. I do straight hypnosis, which, for anxieties, depression, traumas, and everything. But sometimes I might find that to release whatever trauma that is, sometimes people do fall into the past.
Without even attempting to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. But some people come to you just for this.
Past life regression.
They want to see if there's any truth to it. And do you get skeptics coming into that?
They do.
Yeah.
I've had people, this one man came in with his wife because she wanted to do a past life regression. And then he says, well, I'll give it a try, but I don't think you're going to be able to hypnotize me.
Mm-hmm.
He was out within a few seconds. And he was talking about living in Chicago and this whole life that was going on. And he started talking about being kidnapped as a 12-year-old boy and all this stuff. And his wife and I were looking at each other going, oh, my gosh. And he had emotions and tears and all this stuff. And, of course, I keep a very close eye on all my clients because I always determine how long do I want to leave them in a certain spot before I move them on. And I'm able to move them on. Sometimes it's too traumatic. I tell them that they're just observers and they can back off and just talk about it like they were watching a movie and everything. But everybody that has come out of a past life regression with me has said it's actually changed their lives. And sometimes I wondered about that until they came back later because I was worried, did they walk away with all this extra angst and anxiety? And they said, no, it actually changed their lives.
In a good way.
In a positive way, and the way that they saw life in general.
Interesting. Now, does everybody remember everything from their
Pretty much.
session?
Pretty much.
do.
But also I record every session.
Right.
And I send them an MP3 so they can listen to themselves talk about it.
Interesting. Well, I know we have the second clip you have here
Yeah, let's listen to that.
is a man. And do we hear your voice in the background as
Yes.
well?
Yes.
Okay, and this is about 2 minutes, 39 seconds.
Right.
So let's take a listen to that one.
Mentally look down at your feet and tell me what you see.
Shoes. Concrete.
What are you wearing on your body?
Suit coat. Europe.
What age are you?
18.
Are you male or female?
Male.
And what is your name?
Eric.
Where are you? Describe your surroundings.
Town Square. Bavaria. I'm holding a pipe.
Do you know what year or time period it is?
1938.
Now go to the house where you live in this lifetime. Tell me what it looks like.
Old house. Family house. White. Brown shutters. sloping roof.
Are there other people there? If so, who are they?
Parents,
Do you know their name?
Johann, Maria, sister,
What is her name?
Hannah,
How old are they?
40s.
What do they look like?
Mother warm, round-faced, plump. Father mustached, wiry, humorous.
What about your sister?
14, plump, silly.
Now move forward in time to a point in this lifetime that you feel is significant to that life and possibly your present life.
War, battle, confusion, death,
And what are you doing?
dying.
How old are you?
23, almost 24.
Are you a soldier or civilian?
Soldier, caught off guard. Machine gun bullets, chest destroyed.
That was it.
Wow. That's powerful.
It is.
Wow. Bavarian soldier recalling the moment of his death on the battlefield.
Yep.
Wow. I can't imagine how he felt after he came out of that particular session.
He remembered it,
He did.
definitely.
It's kind of chilling. What do you think, Tom?
Well, it's interesting. What did he say when you brought him out of hypnosis about it?
He talked about it and all the stuff that he felt and all the information that he remembered. I mean, there's obviously a lot more because I edited it and everything, but he was talking about his family and, more about what they looked like. And he went on to talk about what he did in his everyday life. And he was studying mathematics and science and everything like that.
Have you ever been able to have a direct link between a past life and a present life, or are they all over the place? There's no direct link.
I've had it where, like, last time I was here, I was discussing this this one client who went under and had this mother that ended up going to an insane asylum. And in her present life, she was always fighting with her mother, and she never could figure out why. And then she realized after she had the regression that she was actually fighting with the past life mother. So that kind of led into her present, and so that changed their relationship.
I bet.
Interesting.
Wow.
I want to ask a question. It may sound silly, but what's the difference between a past regression and, say, reincarnation?
I think that's what we're talking about, actually.
Is that the same exact thing, reincarnation?
Yeah.
Because what I've read about reincarnation was a little different, but
Yeah.
How so?
Well, the people know feel they've been reincarnated. They know they are someone else. All
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, people can become aware of that, and but this is all the same kind of stuff. And actually, at my event, I'm going to ask for 3 volunteers to come up and actually go through a past life regression.
Right there
for
on the spot.
audience.
And that is at the Hingham Public Library on June 30th from 2 to 4:30 p.m.
Definitely.
June 30th. Wow. So that's an opportunity,
Yes.
if you don't mind doing that. Do you feel some people are shy about that?
Well, there'll be some people that are shy
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And people that are really analytical are really difficult to do this for.
Ah,
But I always tell them stop analyzing everything and just kind of be in the moment.
Well. Well, coming up, we'll hear more from our guest, author, certified hypnotist, and behavioral management specialist, Cliff Aguirre. We are Tom and Patti, and you're listening to My Generation on 95.9 WATD. You're listening to My Generation, brought to you by the South Shore Senior News here on 95.9 WATD with your hosts Patti, Abbate, and Tom Foye. And we are back with Cliff Agary. Cliff, that's interesting recordings you brought with you. We've got another one coming up.
We do.
Great.
Now, we're talking about past life regressions and hypnotizing, hypnotherapy, and all that. If you have any comments, if you've been through it, if you have any questions for Cliff, please feel free to call in. We have another half-hour show.
Yep, 781-837-4900. And your buddy Tom will send you out a gift certificate to Petrucci's. It doesn't have to be strictly Hingham. You can take it to any Petrucci's anywhere.
Right. And they're not all closed. They're still open.
No, they're still open.
But I know the last show we had some very interesting callers.
We did.
And we were talking more about spiritual and supernatural things. And we're open to that too. But tonight we're giving a go on this past life regression. And people can come to you and book an appointment with you.
Yes, they can.
To do this very thing in the privacy of your own office.
Definitely.
And that is in Norwell, is that right?
Yes, I'm opening a new office. Hopefully next week is the schedule for the opening.
Terrific. Great.
And it's at 145 Washington Street in Norwell. And if you ever drive down there, there's a big sign that says NBA Building.
I know just
Yes.
where that is.
And I'm
Yes.
inside of that.
Okay.
It's right off the highway, Route 3.
Right.
Easy, convenient location.
Definitely.
Route 53. Mind Balance Hypnosis
Yes.
with you, Cliff. Terrific. Between Assinippie Store and Queen Anne's Corner.
Right. And if anybody does feel nervous about doing it on their own, they can always bring a friend. I have an
Okay.
extra chair just so they can sit there.
So is it typically you lie on the analyst's couch, or is it
No,
you're sitting in a
it's a
chair?
chair.
You're sitting in a chair.
It's
Okay.
a Walmart special,
Okay.
but it's very comfortable.
And you do record everything.
I do.
Okay, great. And you can go, people can come to you for a myriad of reasons.
Oh, yeah,
Not,
definitely.
just-
Like I said, past life regression is not my main thing that I'm
Right.
doing.
right.
But I'm finding that a lot more people are interested in that.
I'm sure it's an interesting subject.
It is.
But many of your patients come to stop smoking, to eat better, to get rid of phobias.
Definitely.
I'm sure
Definitely.
I don't know what else they come for.
I've had a few people that have had phobias about driving over bridges. I've also done
It's one of mine.
Really? Well, you're right to come to me. I also did hypnosis on my daughter who had car sickness for her whole life. She's 37 now, and I did hypnosis on her about a year ago. Now she has no problem
No kidding.
whatsoever.
That's terrific.
And also I did hypnosis on myself when I had to go for an MRI one time. And I was able to just lay in there, no problem whatsoever. So
That's something that many of us could use.
definitely.
Those MRIs are really very claustrophobic.
Oh, even when they
inducing.
say it's wide open, it's not.
Yeah.
So come to me for.
I had to go I went to the one and then I had to stop them because I was too confined, my nose almost touching. You had to take me to the one in Dedham.
I
It's
think
the great
so.
big
Yes.
large
So
one.
That's
you
right.
come to me next time.
Yeah.
We'll go see Cliff first, then you can go anywhere you want.
That's right.
Okay.
And just to let people know again, you have all these books out, Cliff. How can they get the books and how can they find you?
On Amazon, all my books are on Amazon, and they can look up my name. But they can also go to Mind Balance Hypnosis or cliffagary.com or journeybackbook.com.
And your other books, can you give us the names of those?
My first book was The Death Transition, and that was about the process of passing over. And
It's another fascinating book.
right, and the next one's called Encounters with the Other Side, which is filled with a lot of actual ghost stories that I experienced myself.
Terrific. And now the next clip we have coming up, could you kind of set that up for us?
Sure,
What
this
are
is
we going to hear?
This is a woman who was in London, England in World War II, and she's talking about how they had to run for shelter because of the Blitz, because the Germans were bombing London.
Now this is in your book as well?
No.
No, this is
gonna
not
be
in
my
your book.
second book.
In your second book. So this is a recent session you had.
Yes.
Okay, and thanks for bringing that with you tonight. And let's hear that one, Larry.
It's a bit chaotic. There's Sirens going off. There are planes ahead. There are people rushing and yelling.
Do you know why?
There's an air raid. Brick buildings, close quarters, a lot of homes in one area, both sides of the street, everybody's running. Concerned for children, trying to grab children and holding them, trying to run. The sound is so loud. I look down and it's like the 40s.
A man or a woman?
A woman.
Okay.
3 children, a baby, a toddler.
Where do you think it's located?
It's London. So such a fear of dread, trying to follow everybody to the shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And just everybody bumping into everybody, and it's very chaotic.
How old are you?
32?
Okay. What's your name?
And
Okay. Do you know what your children's names are?
Elizabeth,
Okay.
Evelyn,
Mm-hmm.
Peter.
Okay. Do you have any other family members?
Not with me here. Worried about a husband.
Mm-hmm. Where's he
We
at?
don't know where he is.
Okay. So you make it into the shelter?
Not yet. Just a lot of people in the street running. And the planes are coming closer. We're going down an alley now. So everybody's just trying to cram down this area. And there are men holding open what, like a cellar. So we're running down the cellar. And I'm trying to keep the children with me. And everybody's crying.
Mm-hmm.
And people are screaming, asking if people have seen their loved ones. And you can hear the bombing in the background.
You get inside?
Yeah, I'm going down the stairs.
Okay.
The smell of earth. It's like an earth cellar. Then there's stone. A lot of people in a very small area.
What I want you to do is move like a year forward. Tell me when you get there what you feel and what you hear.
So a lot of the area's been destroyed. Some of it remains intact. A lot of people are just, I see like food lines.
Mm-hmm. Is the war still on?
Sharing.
Or is
We're living together with a lot of people.
the war over? Or is it still going on?
It feels like it's still going on.
You have your kids with you?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I don't have. So my husband died.
Okay. In the war?
He was a pilot.
Okay. Do you know what his name was?
Billy.
Now let's move forward another year or two. Tell me what you see or what you feel.
We still have rations, so we're still struggling. There's a man who's in our lives.
What's his name?
Bob. He's very good to the kids. There's not a great love there, but there's the companionship.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good to us.
What kind of work does he do?
You see, he works on like the trolley system, like on the like on the trolley buses.
Now what I want you to do is move forward 5 years. Tell me what you see or what you feel.
I see white light.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
It's just a white light.
Okay. I want you to go back a little bit. It was before that white light. Tell me what you're doing.
Coffee.
Okay. Why is that?
Hard to breathe.
Okay.
Sick. Worried about the kids.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
Okay. How old are your kids? Roughly.
Grade school. The oldest. I'll be caring for the other two.
Okay.
Worried that he's taking on way too much. Worried for the kids. The youngest is coughing too.
Do you know what it's from?
TB.
Oh, okay.
He said a lot of people are sick.
Do you get better or what happens?
I get tired of breathing and then I stop breathing.
Wow.
There you go.
That was a story.
Sorry about that noise. That was the air conditioning system. And I
Oh.
could never get that thing quiet enough sometimes.
So you bring people easily from 1 year to a few years in the future, and they just seem to flow back and forth like that.
Right. If I find out that they're having a little bit of problems moving, I go, okay, it's going to happen really quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they move on, and then they go, okay, now I see everything very clearly. But
So this woman, when she saw the white, was
she'd already died.
she'd already died. So that's why you brought her back.
Right, to see why.
And she had TB.
Yeah.
And the kids were coughing, and she
Yeah.
was coughing.
So, yeah.
Do you ever get full names, first and last, and
I
dates
have.
of birth? And
I have.
And do you go and try to look them up?
Yes. I have a few volunteers who went back to their deaths and their lives in Boston. And they actually gave me their first and last name, their parents' name, occupation, what street they lived on. So I'm trying to do some research to find out who they were.
So you're in the middle of doing that
Yes.
too. Wow, that's fascinating. If you can connect all these dots.
I know.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. And that was very compelling. That was a little bit longer than we expected it to go.
Yeah,
but
that
it-
was interesting, though.
very interesting. Yeah, yeah. And you could feel it in her voice. And you know, her husband died, and then Bob, no love there, but he's good to the kids. And
But
just-
you could actually feel her and see her running down the street and going down the alley and
Yes.
the smells of the dirt.
And you're sitting right there in the room with them. You never know what's coming out of their
Not
mouths.
at all. Not at all. So I'm watching them very closely, and I'm
Yeah.
going, okay, what am I going to hear next?
Do you ever see body movements? Do they try
yeah.
to? So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I remember one time I was saying, okay, now look to your right. And they actually turned, even though they had their eyes closed and, they were under hypnosis. But they turned to see what they were looking at.
And you say it's an emotional journey for many people.
It is.
They laugh, they cry.
It is. And
Yeah.
even though we've heard some really, terrible ones tonight and everything, there's other ones that go back and find happy family lives and their children and, and they're
I know
very happy.
You talked about your own personal regression. Were you in the South Pacific or something?
Yeah, I was saying that I was in Tahiti. And I was
Tahiti.
talking about being this 6-foot tall guy with long black hair. And of course, we're on the radio, and I'm not 6 feet tall, and I don't have long black hair. And did a lot of fishing and everything, and talked about my family and my children. And how we died, and then, different languages, and it's quite interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. And do you ever go back again? Or do you bring people back again? Would they necessarily go to the same experiences?
I tell them to go to a place that's important for them. So I never tell them exactly where to go. I always have them lead it, because they know where they need to go.
And this happens with folks of any age.
Oh, definitely.
From anywhere.
Definitely.
So you can be 20 and go back, and you can be 90 and go back.
Definitely.
So it doesn't have a correlation. You're not old enough to do this yet.
What's the youngest person you've ever hypnotized?
16.
16.
Yep. But what we listened to tonight, that's a variance of different age groups and everything. So
Definitely. And people go back and find they were a man or a woman or a child or...
The funniest thing is when a man will come into the session and go, well, I don't know if you're going to hypnotize me or not. And then they go right on out, and then they talk about being a woman and giving birth to children and being a husband. And then they come out and they go, oh, my gosh, what was that?
I can see how this is a life changer, Cliff.
It is.
In many ways. Many ways.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, coming up, we'll hear more from our guest, author, certified hypnotist, and behavioral management specialist, Cliff Aguirre. We are Tom and Patti, and you're listening to My Generation on 95.9 WATD. You're listening to My Generation, brought to you by the South Shore Senior News, here on 95.9 WATD, with your hosts Patti Abbate and Tom Foye. We're back with Cliff Aguirre.
Yes, and we've been talking about past life regressions.
I know it, and he made me think when I said that no one's called in. Perhaps our listening audience is asleep in a hypnotist style. You think?
Well, your voice is very soothing.
You put him to sleep, Cliff.
I can imagine that it's easy to go out with you speaking and counting us backwards.
And some people actually kid about it, and they go, I think he's hypnotizing me just by being in the room with him.
I've often thought that.
Hypnotize Larry.
Well, he needs to press the
button.
button.
Look at him. You did it. It's so interesting. Thank you for bringing those clips. Are any of those on your...
Those were very interesting.
Are they any of those on your website?
No.
Okay, so that was special for us tonight.
It will be.
I appreciate you doing that, but they will be on your website at some point.
Well, especially if I get a copy of the show, I'll throw it on there.
All right. No, you will get a copy of the show tomorrow. It will be on our website tomorrow, so folks can enjoy the show then.
And I'm also starting to do podcasts also. So we're going to be talking about all these past life regressions.
Terrific.
Interviews from people around the world. And
yeah, we have podcasts. We're on iTunes as well.
That's right. And I have to say, the two shows that we've done with you have been downloaded many times.
Good.
Certain shows just hit a nerve, and this is the kind of subject that folks just like to tune into because we're so curious. There's no guarantee that we've been here hundreds of times, but this evidence really does suggest that life goes on and in many forms, and we'll be back again.
As I said before, these are either the most creative 27 volunteers or this is really true.
Right.
And I think it's really true. So.
Yes, and now you're up to at least 40 of these life regressions, working on your second book.
Yes.
The first book, Journey Back, is a bestseller. I know we sold some from this show. You'll be selling them along with your other books, I'm assuming, on Saturday, June 30th at the Hingham Public Library, and that's over there on 66 Levitt Street, and that's 2 to 4:30 p.m.
Yes.
I would suggest that you call over to the library to reserve a spot because, you have about 40 spots right now.
Right.
And you will be talking about all of these sessions that you've had and inviting audience members to do a session right there on the spot.
Definitely. And I'll be showing videos of live sessions that I recorded and took place.
Great.
Also.
I think we'll have to go over there Saturday, June 30th, 2 to 4:30 at the Hingham Public Library.
And also, everybody just come visit me at my office at 145 Washington Street, Norwell.
That's right. You're right around the corner.
Session.
Book a session for all kinds of things,
Definitely.
not just life regression, but that might be a byproduct of going there.
Oh, definitely.
If you want to stop smoking or get your life healthier or get rid of some phobias that are holding you back,
Right.
or
And
just to build self-confidence.
And if you want a list of what I work on, just go to mindbalancehypnosis.com.
Or cliffagary.com or Journey Back. This guy has so many websites. You can find Cliff everywhere.
Cliff, what's the strangest person you've ever put under hypnosis?
I had this guy that went back to being a car dealer, car seller in New Orleans. And he ended up changing his attitude. He was the most obnoxious person. His voice changed, and he just had this attitude and everything. It wasn't anything similar to the guy who was in the room with me. And
His whole personality changed.
oh yeah, it was great.
Wow.
It was great.
It was great.
It was funniest thing. And
He
was-
became Honest John.
They can actually watch him talk about that. There's a clip on my website where he actually explains what the experience was like.
Wow.
So
That's
So he was an obnoxious car salesman.
he was.
you have to wonder what those when you connect the dots, what does it all mean? But I'm sure for each person that experiences this, it's something personal. It resonates in some way. And it's, as you say, every person says it's been a life-changing experience.
Right. And it's almost like we're just one gigantic database. And if all these personalities existed somewhere in our database, and we're just digging into it.
Do you follow up with any of your patients, clients, volunteers to see?
I do.
Do you? Yeah.
And that's how I heard that it changed their lives.
What about for folks that come to help overcoming something?
I've had people who have stopped smoking, who have been smoking for 10, 20 years, and people that eat better. I've had some people that are suddenly not doing certain things, and then they say, "Oh, you hypnotized me. You know, this really works."
Do they have to come back for follow-up sessions?
Depends on the person.
Uh-huh.
I don't pressure anybody to come back. I just ask them to come back if they need it. You know, so they'll do that.
Yeah.
But it's very, I like it.
Well, it's rewarding to you.
It's rewarding. That's
Yeah.
the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Because look what you can assist someone do, and really you're helping
Right.
them help themselves.
And most of my clients are word of mouth. So one person tells another person about their fabulous experience.
That's the
and
best way.
Then their friend shows up, and we just go from there.
That's true. I think that is the best way.
Yeah.
And shows like this really help folks understand what it's all about, because there is so much mystery surrounding it and apprehension and misinformation out there.
And there shouldn't be, because it's very safe. Definitely very safe.
And you've been experiencing this your whole life.
Yes.
And you're just, getting all of us to understand what it's all about. And your books have been terrific. I recommend everybody go out and get your 3 books that are out there, and a 4th on its way.
Yes.
Take a look at the website, mindbalancehypnosis.com.
Right.
That's a place to start.
Place to start, or cliffagary.com.
cliffagary.com.
That's where I have a lot of videos and a lot of books, and also music.
Yes, you were a composer.
Right.
We actually played a piece that your dad wrote
Right.
on
That's
the
right, I
last
remember that,
show.
yeah.
Remember that? That
Right.
was really interesting. And you do have an office now starting next week in Norwell, 145 Washington Street, right on 53.
The NBA,
NBA.
building.
And what kind of hours do you keep there, or does it depend on who wants to
It
see
really
you?
depends on who wants to see me.
Okay, so you can kind of accommodate
I can.
schedules. So that's good to know. It's great to know. And of course, Saturday, June 30th at the Hingham Public Library, the next opportunity to see you, get to talk to you, even get to go under hypnosis with you,
Right.
if you're so inclined,
If you're so inclined.
and get a copy of your book there too.
Definitely.
It'd be great. It'd be great. Oh, this has been fascinating, Cliff.
This has
Thank
been. Those
you.
were interesting CDs to listen to that you brought with you.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Maybe
fascinating.
you can come. You can be under
Well,
hypnosis.
I would love for that to happen, Tom.
Patty can go, but I'm going to have to stay at the house because I'm switching from Comcast to Fios.
That day, I think I'll come over. I won't want to be in the house then.
Well, you're the person that does the story writing. I mean, you're the writer, so and the publisher and the editor and the boss.
I am.
So you'll leave me behind and you'll go.
Traipsing off.
That's right.
Yeah, as I do.
Perhaps
Thanks again.
you could perhaps you could hypnotize Patti and make a couple little changes so she doesn't make me work so much, and maybe teach her to pay me. What's that? Are you showing me that it's 7:59, or are you showing me the picture of our cat Cindy?
No, 7:59.
All right. I'm watching
right.
Larry in there.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Cliff.
Thank you for
We'll
being
have
on.
you
That was
back again.
interesting.
Okay.
That was great.
It's
We
been
definitely
fun.
will have you
Yes.
back on again. We're Tom Foye and Patti Abbate, and you're listening to My Generation, brought to you by the South Shore Senior News. Tonight's show was sponsored by Bertucci's of Hingham here at 95.9 WATD. Have a great week, and we will see you next Sunday.
Generation.